You wake up every day and life doesn't ask if you're ready. It doesn't care if you're tired, broken, or lost. The world keeps spinning, and if you don't rise, if you don't force yourself to fight, you'll be crushed by the weight of your own weakness. Pain isn't your enemy, comfort is. The truth is, nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's going to hand you strength, discipline, or greatness. You either build it or you stay average forever. The strongest minds are not born. They're forged through chaos, rejection, and failure. You must train your mind to stay calm in storms, to see opportunity where others see disaster. Every time your mind screams, I can't, that's the exact moment you must say, watch me. The people who rise to the top aren't smarter or luckier. They're the ones who refuse to quit when everything went dark. You have to be your own hero, your own motivation, your own savior. The moment you stop seeking easy paths and start embracing discomfort, you'll become unstoppable. Strength isn't given. It's earned in silence, when no one's watching, when you push through the pain and keep moving forward. Comfort destroys growth. Pain builds power. That single truth separates the weak from the strong, the average from the unstoppable. Comfort is seductive. It whispers to you to take it easy, to rest, to wait until you feel ready. But readiness is an illusion. The more you listen to comfort, the softer you become. Every time you choose the easy way, you teach your mind that weakness is acceptable. You lose the fire that once burned inside you, the drive that makes people unstoppable. Comfort tells you to sleep in. Pain tells you to get up. Comfort says you've done enough. Pain says there's more inside you. And the truth, the voice that challenges you is the only one that ever leads to greatness. The strongest people you've ever admired didn't get there by living comfortably. They became powerful because they embraced suffering. They didn't run from pain. They are into it. They saw pain not as punishment, but as a teacher. Every challenge, every failure, every scar carved discipline into their soul. Comfort is where dreams die quietly. Pain is where warriors are born loudly. Growth doesn't happen when everything is easy. It happens when your body screams for rest, but your mind says, one more. The modern world is built to make you soft. Everything is designed for convenience. Food delivered to your door, entertainment at your fingertips, validation from strangers online. It's so easy to become lazy, to confuse comfort with happiness. But the truth is, the more comfortable you become, the more you lose yourself. You start doubting your abilities, fearing discomfort, and settling for mediocrity. Real satisfaction doesn't come from comfort. It comes from conquering yourself. The human spirit was not built to sit still. It was built to struggle, to overcome, to fight. When you force yourself into discomfort, you awaken parts of yourself that calm fort will never touch. You discover mental layers you didn't know existed. You start to realize that pain isn't your enemy. It's your greatest ally. Every time you endure something difficult, you're expanding your limits. You're stretching your mind's ability to handle pressure, failure, and rejection. The pain you feel today is the strength you'll stand on tomorrow. You must stop running from it. Stop numbing yourself with distractions and excuses. The moment you choose pain willingly, you gain control. Comfort makes you a passenger in your own life. Pain makes you the driver. When you force yourself to face the hard path, the cold mornings, the lonely nights, the tough choices, you take command of your destiny. You no longer wait for things to happen. You make them happen. You start walking into the fire instead of running from it. And each time you do, the fire burns away weakness and forges strength. Comfort is a slow death disguised as peace. Pain is the birthplace of transformation. Eber, you must understand, pain is not something to fear. It's proof that you're alive, that you're pushing, that you're evolving. The pain of discipline weighs ounces, but the pain of regret weighs tons. Every sacrifice, every sleepless night, every ounce of discomfort will build a mind that doesn't crack under pressure. People who hide from pain never realize how powerful they could have become. They live with quiet regret, knowing they could have been more. But those who embrace pain build a mindset that nothing can destroy. When you start loving discomfort, you become dangerous. You stop relying on motivation and start relying on discipline. You become immune to excuses. You stop seeking easy days because you know that the struggle is what shapes you. You stop saying, why me? And start saying, try me. Pain doesn't break you. It builds you into someone who can't be broken. You learn to perform under stress, to think clearly in chaos, to stay calm when everything falls apart. That's the power comfort will never give you. So, if you truly want to grow, stop chasing comfort. Seek the challenge. Seek the pain. Push yourself into situations that scare you. Do the thing you've been avoiding. Face the hard truth about your weaknesses and use that pain to sharpen your strength. Because every second you spend comfortable is a second you lose from becoming the person you're meant to be. The path to greatness is paved with discomfort, discipline, and pain. But on the other side of that pain lies power, pride, and peace. Remember this, the man who suffers willingly is the man who controls his destiny. Comfort destroys growth. Pain builds power. Choose pain. Choose growth. Choose strength. Because the world doesn't reward comfort. It rewards the ones who can endure the fire and rise stronger every single time. Discipline outlasts motivation. Motivation is a spark. It burns bright for a moment, ignites your excitement, and makes you feel unstoppable. But like all sparks, it fades. You wake up one morning and the fire's gone. You don't feel like working out. You don't feel like studying. You don't feel like grinding for your goals. That's where most people stop. They depend on feelings to move forward. And when those feelings disappear, so does their effort. But the ones who build something truly great, who transform their lives and rewrite their stories, they don't rely on motivation. They rely on discipline. Discipline is the unbreakable steel that keeps you moving when everything inside you wants to quit. Motivation is emotional. It's temporary. It's like a gust of wind that blows strong, then disappears when the storm ends. Discipline, on the other hand, is commitment. It's structure. It's showing up every single day, whether you feel like it or not. It's waking up early when the bed feels warm and your body screams for 5 more minutes. It's saying no to distractions, no to comfort, and yes to progress. Discipline is built on promises you make to you, self, and refuse to break, even when no one's watching. That's what makes it powerful. It's not about hype. It's about habit. The truth is, motivation is easy to find, but impossible to keep. You can listen to all the motivational speeches, watch every video, read every book, but unless you turn that emotion into consistent action, it fades. Motivation gives you the start. Discipline gets you the finish. Motivation makes you feel inspired. Discipline makes you unstoppable. When you rely on motivation, you'll only work when it's easy. When you rely on discipline, you'll work even when it's painful. And it's in those painful moments, the ones where you want to stop but keep going anyway, that real growth happens. Discipline is the bridge between dreams and results. Everyone dreams. Everyone wants success, money, strength, peace, or purpose. But only a few are disciplined enough to pay the price daily. The gym, the late nights, the hard conversations, the rejection, the grind, it all takes DI. Discipline doesn't ask if you're in the mood. It demands that you do it anyway. You don't have to love the process. You just have to respect it. Every day you practice discipline, you're carving your character deeper into stone. You're training your mind to obey your purpose, not your emotions. People often say they lack motivation, but what they really lack is consistency. Discipline removes the need for motivation. It turns your goals into routines. You stop asking yourself, do I feel like it? And start saying, it's time to do it. That shift is everything. That's how you separate yourself from the crowd, because most people quit when it's hard. They give up when results don't come fast enough. But the disciplined ones, they keep showing up. They know that small progress every day beats big bursts of energy that fade away. Discipline is quiet. It doesn't need attention. It doesn't post online about effort. It just delivers results. Discipline teaches you to do what needs to be done, even when it hurts. It's not glamorous. It's not exciting, but it's powerful. When you rely on motivation, life controls you. When you rely on discipline, you control life. You become predictable in the best way. Consistent, unstoppable, reliable. You don't get swayed by emotions or setbacks because your foundation is solid. Discipline gives you freedom. It gives you peace, because when you live with discipline, you never have to question your effort. You know you've done your part. It's easy to work when you feel good. It's easy to chase goals when you're inspired, but life will test you when you're tired, uninspired, and broken. Those moments separate dreamers from doers. Discipline is the voice that says, keep going, when everything in you screams to stop. It's the reminder that success doesn't care about your feelings. It only cares about your effort. Every great person you admire didn't win because they were motivated every day. They won because they built systems, habits, and routines that carried them through when motivation died. Aber. So stop chasing motivation like it's the answer. It's temporary energy. What you need is consistency, focus, and self-control. You need to wake up every day and act, not wait to feel ready. The strongest people don't always feel inspired. They feel responsible. They know discipline is their weapon, their shield, their foundation. Discipline is what keeps the mind sharp, the body strong, and the purpose alive. If you want to change your life, don't wait for motivation. Build discipline. Force yourself to show up. Train yourself to act regardless of emotion. Be the kind of person who doesn't depend on feelings, but depends on principles. Because in the end, motivation fades, but discipline endures. And the one who masters discipline masters life. Strength is built in isolation, not applause. The truth that few want to accept is that greatness grows in silence, behind closed doors, when no one is cheering, no one is watching, and no one is clapping for you. It's easy to work hard when people notice, when the world applauds your effort, when every small win gets attention. But real strength, the kind that can't be shaken, broken, or taken away, is forged in solitude. It's born in the dark when the crowd is gone, and all you have is your willpower, your discipline, and your belief that what you're doing matters, even if no one else sees it yet. When you're alone, that's when the truth shows itself. There's no audience to impress, no validation to chase. It's just you and the grind. That's where real character is built. Isolation forces you to confront your weaknesses. It shows you how much you truly want it. Most people only work hard when someone's watching, when there's praise waiting at the end. But those who are destined for greatness keep going, even when there's silence, when there's doubt, when there's nothing but their own voice saying, keep pushing. That's where strength is formed, when you have every reason to stop, but you don't. Applause is temporary. It feeds the ego, but not the soul. You can't build real strength on external validation, because the moment it disappears, you crumble. If your effort depends on attention, you'll never last. The world forgets fast, but isolation never lies. In the quiet, you learn what you're made of. You learn how to push through boredom, doubt, and exhaustion. You learn to work not for recognition, but for transformation. The strongest people don't chase applause, they chase mastery. They chase that inner pride that comes from knowing they gave everything, even when nobody cared. Strength grows in the moments nobody sees. The extra hour at the gym, the late night studying, the countless rejections, the lonely sacrifices. That's where resilience is born. The crowd only sees the victory, but they never see the suffering that built it. People will cheer for your success, but never understand your struggle. And that's okay, because your strength isn't for them. It's for you. It's the armor you build through discipline, the mental toughness you earn through every silent battle. Isolation is not punishment, it's preparation. It's where the weak quit and the strong evolve. When you're isolated, your thoughts get louder. Your insecurities, your fears, your doubts, they all come to the surface. But if you face them instead of running away, you come out stronger than ever. You start building self-trust. You stop relying on others for validation and start relying on your own standards. You become your own competition, your own motivation, your own reason to rise. That's what separates the great from the average. The ability to work without needing anyone's approval. Applause may make you feel good, but isolation makes you unbreakable. The people who have built true power, mentally, physically, or emotionally, spent countless hours alone. They sacrificed comfort, relationships, distractions, and validation for their mission. They weren't chasing recognition. They were chasing improvement. They didn't care who noticed. They cared about who they were becoming. Strength built in isolation becomes unshakable because it's rooted in self-discipline, not public opinion. When you stop needing applause, you gain freedom. You become dangerous because nothing external can control your drive. The silence of isolation is not your enemy, it's your training ground. Every time you choose to stay consistent when no one is watching, you add another layer of armor to your soul. You teach yourself to rely on effort, not emotion. You train your mind to stay focused, even without validation. You learn to find pride in progress that only you can see. That's where champions are created, in the dark, in the grind, in the lonely hours of unseen effort. When the time comes and the spotlight finally hits you, people will call you lucky, gifted, or talented. They won't see the nights you spent working when everyone else was sleeping. They won't know the battles you fought in silence, but you'll know. You'll know that your strength was built brick by brick in isolation, not applause. And that's what makes it real. It's yours. It can't be taken away because it wasn't given to you. You earned it. So if you find yourself alone, working without recognition, feeling unseen, remember this: you're not losing, you're growing. Every second you spend building in silence is preparing you for the moment the world finally notices. But by then, you won't even need their applause, because you'll already know what you are: strong, disciplined, unstoppable. Strength built in isolation doesn't need approval. It stands on its own, unshaken, unbent, unbroken. Every failure is mental weight training. Most people hear the word failure and instantly think of loss, humiliation, and defeat. They see it as something to avoid at all costs, something that defines them as weak or incapable. But the truth is, failure isn't the end. It's the gym for your end. Every time you fail, you're lifting the weight of disappointment, pressure, and self-doubt. And just like physical muscles, your mental muscles grow stronger with every rep. The more failure you face and endure, the more resilient, sharper, and unstoppable you become. Failure teaches lessons that success never can. Success feels good, but it rarely builds strength. It makes you comfortable. It flatters your ego, but it doesn't demand growth. Failure, on the other hand, strips you down. It exposes your flaws, tests your patience, and challenges your identity. It's painful, but pain is the price of evolution. Every setback you experience is an opportunity to strengthen your mindset. It's mental resistance training. The heavier the failure, the stronger you can become if you choose to keep pushing through it. Most people crumble under failure because they see it as final. They let one rejection convince them they're not enough. They let one mistake destroy their confidence. But the truth is, failure is feedback, not defeat. It's your mind saying, you're not there yet, but keep lifting. Every failed attempt is a rep. Every disappointment is another chance to improve your form, your focus, your endurance. That's how you build mental muscle, through resistance. No growth comes from ease. It comes from pressure. When you go to the gym, you don't lift light weights forever. You increase the resistance because that's what forces your body to grow. The same applies to your life. Each failure is a heavier weight added to your mental barbell. At first, it feels unbearable. Your ego trembles. Also avoid growth. They choose comfort over challenge, safety over strength. They stay in their little bubble of success and never test their limits. But those who embrace failure develop a mind that can't be bent. They stop fearing rejection because they felt it before and survived. They stop fearing loss because they've rebuilt themselves after worse. Failure becomes their teacher, not their enemy. And once you understand that, you stop avoiding pain. You start using it. Every failure forces you to analyze, to reflect, to adapt. It sharpens your awareness and disciplines your emotions. You start realizing that it's not the failure that hurts you. It's your attachment to comfort and pride. Once you let go of those, failure becomes fuel. It becomes a challenge, a puzzle to solve, a test of endurance. Every no becomes another push-up. Every mistake becomes another deadlift. And eventually, your mental strength becomes so powerful that nothing breaks you. You stop seeing obstacles as problems and start seeing them as opportunities to grow even stronger. The strongest minds in history were built from countless failures. Inventors, athletes, leaders, and creators, they all fell repeatedly, publicly, painfully. But instead of collapsing, they treated each failure like another set in the mental gym. They analyzed, adjusted, and came back stronger. That's why they became unstoppable, because their minds were conditioned to endure. Failure didn't destroy them, it forged them. And that same power is available to you if you choose to view failure not as an ending, but as training. Every time life knocks you down, ask yourself, what is this teaching me? What part of my mindset is getting stronger right now? That perspective shifts everything. You start to realize that every disappointment is a workout, every rejection a rep, every setback a step closer to mastery. You're not losing, you're building. The pain you feel is the growth you can't yet see. And just like muscle, need rest to grow. Your mind needs reflection to evolve. Take the lesson, not the pain. Take the strength, not the shame. So stop fearing failure. Stop running from it. Start embracing it as your personal mental training program. Every failure makes you stronger, tougher, and wiser. The people who rise to greatness aren't the ones who never fail. They're the ones who fail the most and still keep showing up. Failure doesn't define you. It refines you. It strips away weakness and reveals the core of who you are. So lift it, carry it, use it. Every failure is a rep. Every rep builds resilience, and every ounce of resilience brings you closer to unbreakable strength. A powerful mind creates an unbreakable life. Everything's and ends in your mind. The way you think, react, and interpret the world determines the life you live. Most people spend their lives trying to change their circumstances, their jobs, their relationships, or their surroundings, but they never learn to master teach higher thoughts. They don't understand that your outer world is nothing more than a reflection of your inner strength. If your mind is weak, life will break you. But if your mind is powerful, disciplined, focused, and calm, no storm can destroy your peace. Your mind is the foundation. Build it strong. And no matter what happens outside, you'll never fall apart inside. A powerful mind isn't born. It's built through trials, failures, and pain. It's trained by hardship, tested by chaos, and refined by adversity. The mind becomes powerful when you learn to stay steady in moments of fear, to stay composed in the face of uncertainty, and to stay relentless when life tries to crush your spirit. A powerful mind doesn't react emotionally to every obstacle. It observes, adapts, and overcomes. The difference between those who break and those who rise isn't the size of their problems. It's the strength of their mindset. When you build a powerful mind, you stop being controlled by emotions. You stop letting fear dictate your decisions and doubt paralyze your actions. You understand that emotions are temporary, but discipline is permanent. A weak mind looks for comfort, but a powerful mind seeks clarity. It doesn't run from problems. It studies them, learns from them, and turns them into lessons. A powerful mind isn't afraid of being alone because it finds peace in solitude. It doesn't depend on external validation because it's fueled by self-belief. That's what makes it unshakable. It stands on its own even when the world falls apart. Life will always test you. People will disappoint you. Plans will fail. Pain will come in ways you never expected. You cannot control any of that. But what you can control is your response, your focus, your perspective. That's where power lies. A powerful mind knows that pain is not punishment. It's preparation. It uses every challenge as a chance to grow. While others complain about circumstances, the strong-minded use them as training grounds. Every difficult moment is an opportunity to build emotional endurance and mental toughness. When your mind is strong, failure doesn't break you. It teaches you. Loss doesn't crush you. It humbles you. Rejection doesn't stop you. It redirects you. You begin to see everything as happening for you, not to you. That shift in perspective changes everything. Suddenly, life becomes less about surviving and more about mastering. You stop being a victim of your situation and start being the architect of your destiny. The world no longer dictates your emotions. You do. The powerful mind gives you the ability to stay grounded in chaos. It allows you to remain calm while others panic, focused while others give up, confident while others doubt. That's true strength, not the absence of struggle, but the ability to stay steady through it. It's the mental armor that protects you when life hits hard. The storms will come, but they can't destroy someone who has built strength from within. A powerful mind bends, but it never breaks. To create that kind of mind, you must train it daily. Feed it with discipline, not distractions. Surround it with purpose, not excuses. Push it beyond comfort, because comfort breeds weakness. Challenge your thoughts, question your fears, and remind yourself that you are in control of how you think, no matter how hard life gets. Read, learn, meditate, and most importantly, take action. Knowledge without application is useless. You strengthen your mind through repetition by consistently choosing courage over comfort, effort over ease, and persistence over quitting. A powerful mind doesn't chase perfection. It chases progress. It doesn't compare itself to others. It competes only with the person in the mirror. Every day it asks one question: how can I be better than I was yesterday? That's the mindset that creates an unbreakable life, because it never stops growing, never stops adapting, never stops fighting. Even when life throws its hardest punches, a powerful mind doesn't surrender. It recalibrates, adjusts, and continues forward. When your mind becomes powerful, you become unstoppable. You'll find peace, struggle, purpose in pain, and strength in solitude. You'll realize that no matter what happens outside of you, your inner world remains your fortress. And when your mind